Aloha o Keahi Warfield ko ino no Keaukaha, hilo Hawaii, o ko ohana no hilo, puna, ka'u, kona, me kohala. I'm an executive director for the RISE 21st Century After School program. Well, Maunakea is special to me because in Keaukaha, it is the mountain we associate with. It's the first thing that we see when we wake up in the morning. We can also see Mauna Loa as well. But I think my connection to Maunakea is the amount of time that we've spent on the mountain with my father, hunting and gathering for game birds, wild boar, picking of certain plants, and observing the celestial heavens. In many ways, they don't really affect the things that we do, the practices that we do. In many ways, it has contributed to access to the top of the mountain. I was born after the observatories were already on the mountain, but a lot of my personal experiences on the summit wouldn't have been made possible without the necessary infrastructure that is there. As a youth, I had the privilege of working in one of the telescopes, which was the Subaru telescope. And as far as the hunting and gathering, a lot of those things happened in the lower areas of the mountain. So it never really enabled us to continue the practices of what we did. I know a lot of the stones or the adze quarry is at the summit, but I would think that it's beneficial that we have roads where you can actually access the summit point rather than having to walk. I mentioned before that we spent a lot of time on the mountain, you know, as a child, and traveling, you know, lots of the labyrinths of roads that exist and paths. And I have nothing against the religious practices or customs of Native Hawaiians in today's time. But I do feel that a lot of the infrastructure that was created helps that religious practice become easier, more accessible. It'd be really interesting to see how many people would get on horses or walk by foot to perform religious practices in today's time, especially knowing what is up there and the characteristics of the mountain. It is a special place, but I think it adds to the rituals that Native Hawaiians may have and practices to allow them to practice their customary traditions or, you know, whatever it may be. So, you know, without having the road, you know, is a good example. Where would all this be? You know, so I think for two sides of the issue, one, respect the customary practices, and two, be grateful for what we have today so that we can continue on with those customary practices. So you gotta be able to, you know, give and take in many ways. personally, I'm a supporter of education. And I see the TMT as an opportunity for education. And it holds a lot of socioeconomic value, in my eyes, to expand the trades, career fields of Hawaii, especially this island. And I see it as an opportunity for the future generations, especially having been working with youth for over a decade now. And the opportunities that are available now are very slim as far as career fields of that nature. So I feel that it's about education. Well, I know one cultural saying in particular, which is Hawaii Imiloa, which is to seek far beyond and to search for knowledge. And to me, when I look at TMT and that idea of looking beyond, our planet, and to me, it holds that same integrity of always reaching for more and to learn, continuous learning. And at times when we think we know everything, we're just at, the start, the starting point of knowing. So in many ways, our ancestors, as the navigators that they were, that crossed the Pacific Ocean, they took on a courageous task of not knowing, but pushing further to find out. And in many ways, that's how I see TMT coming into play. I think one of the main things that needs to happen is that this is Hawaii. And Native Hawaiians are the host culture. And TMT brings in a lot of different opportunities and world partners, So I feel that we need to take advantage of that, and that we need to create opportunities where two sides of the spectrum can move forward at once. It's a win-win in many ways. So although the TMT may offer a lot of unique opportunities and learning that a lot of our children are not exposed to, they still have to do the hard work of figuring out how is it relevant to our culture as Native Hawaiians. And once you can do that, then I think you can pull a lot of support. But if two sides of the spectrum does not move together, then it's going to be impossible to have anything on the mountain. So I think it's creating an avenue and a different type of thinking that to be in Hawaii and to use the resources in Hawaii, you got to be able to take the community with you. And it doesn't matter if you're Native Hawaiian, doesn't matter if you're Chinese, Japanese, we're made up of all these different races. But you need to take everybody with you, and you need to honor the host culture. I feel that it's an opportunity that needs to be explored. And if TMT is in it for the long ride, the long haul, then that's what it's going to take. But the work still needs to be done with the community. You know, for many years that telescopes have been on Maunakea. Maybe there were some outreach programs, but rarely did we know about it in Keahi. We want to know what's going on. We want to be a part of the naming of the celestial heavens. You know, we want to share what we know. We want you to share what you know. And that's how I believe we can move together. And if it doesn't happen like that, then there's no future in it. I believe that TMT is in a good position to lead unique educational opportunities for Hawaii. And it needs to be seen and done. Well, it is a very touchy situation, and a lot of people are afraid to come out. But we shouldn't be afraid, not in our own homes. And a lot of times, if you do not come out and express how you really feel, then another day will go by, and another day will go by, and the next thing you know, your point never gets across. And so it's important to understand that those voices need to be heard. You know, whether you're Hawaiian, Chinese, Japanese, you know, Hawaii, we got so many different, it's made up of so many different people. Everything that we have is made from so many different opportunities that so many cultures had a part in. You need to look at it from the perspective that if it's a sustainable opportunity that can provide for all people, would you rather have something like that and work with something of this nature? Or would you rather see 20,000 more homeless gathering at our beaches? You know, homeless is a really big issue right now in Hawaii, you know. So when you put it into that perspective, opportunities, homelessness, your voice is important, you know. And that's part of the reason why we came out, is that we wanted to come out and showcase that, yeah, we're Native Hawaiian as well, you know, but we're looking for the win-win, you know, where everybody can benefit. And not just Native Hawaiians, although this is a Native Hawaiians are the hosts, but, you know, it's for Hawaii's future and Hawaii's youth. That's at the core. I would say that, you know, it's okay to oppose it and it's okay to support it. But the main thing is to understand two sides of the issue and to know it well. Don't just go off of what people are telling you or what's the cool thing to do. And that's the hardest thing with our kids, is that they're so easily influenced. Find out the facts on two sides of the issue. And whatever you believe in is what you believe in, you know. But when you start looking around at what Hawaii is made up of, and you have a family, and you have children, and you have bills, you know, then things start to come full picture. You know, you look at the government that we're in, you know, and you understand that I pay taxes just like everybody else. You know, at the end of the day, we got to find opportunities that help to sustain Hawaii. And our kids need to be educated so that they too can, can sustain themselves. The future is not getting any easier. It's getting more competitive. So we want to stay in the competition. We got to take advantage of the opportunities that is in front of us.